I'm free, free falling. Yeah, I'm free, free falling.
Hello everyone, thank you all for coming today. I am Lauren and I'm an occupational therapy student and I'm here today to talk to you about fall prevention in the home. So some of the objectives that we have for you is that you will be able to learn how to prevent falls by understanding the importance of fall prevention, what puts an individual at risk for falls, also how to utilize exercise and proper body mechanics to improve your balance and mobility, as well as how to modify the home and identify certain risks within the home, and also how to use the available resources that there are for fall prevention. So fall prevention is definitely an important topic as it is fairly common with older adults. Some of the statistics is that approximately 1 out of every 3 individuals that are age 65 and older fall each year. Also, falls are ranked the leading cause of fatal and non-fatal injuries within the elderly population. Specifically, about 20 to 30% of falls result in moderate to severe injuries such as lacerations, hip fractures, and head trauma. Also, something interesting to point out is that most people who fall, even if they do not sustain any injuries whatsoever, are actually at risk for developing a fear of falling. And this is important because it can actually cause them to become less active and mobile, which in turn can actually increase their risk for falling. So, to continue with the importance of fall prevention, subsequent falls are common among older adults, so if you do fall once, you are at risk for falling again. Also, early identification of the risk factors associated with falling has actually been shown to significantly reduce fall rates. So that's a clear example of why fall prevention is so important. Research has proven that fall programs are most effective when they include risk assessments, targeted interventions, exercise, and environmental inspections with the removal of hazards. So you all are probably wondering what puts you at risk for a fall. Although anyone can be at risk of falling, individuals with disabilities are at a higher risk of injury from falls. So physical factors can also increase fall risk. So individuals with poor vision, poor balance, and weak muscles, those that lack stamina, medications that cause dizziness, sleepiness, and affect coordination and balance can also put you at risk. Also, osteoporosis is another risk factor because it does make your bones weaker and they can easily break. Also, if you move too quickly, that's another way to put you at risk for falling. So is there anyone here who, after hearing those risk factors, is at risk for falling? Yeah.
I don't have osteoporosis, so I need to be careful about falling and being very frail.
Yes, definitely. Osteoporosis does make your bones weak and easier to break. So. Yeah?
I have cataracts.
Yeah, that's definitely another thing that would put you at risk because poor vision, you can't see as well, and you might not see something that is in front of you. Is there anyone else? Okay, good job. Okay, so now I would like to introduce Kathleen, who is going to talk to you guys about body mechanics and exercise.
Okay, today we're going to talk about body mechanics. Body mechanics refers to how you hold yourself, your posture, and it's a good idea to focus on this throughout your lifetime because it can affect if you have pain in certain areas or if you will be compensating with different muscles. So to start off, we're going to talk about your posture in standing. First, you want to focus on your hips and where they are in relation to your back because that's where you hold your weight. You want to make sure they're in a neutral position, not tilted too far back or too far forward. Also focus on rolling your shoulders back to make sure that your upper back is not rounded Along this, you want to pull your chin back so that your head stays in line with your spine instead of in front of it to discourage your shoulders from rolling forward. Place your feet comfortably apart so that your weight is equally distributed and you don't start leaning to one side or another and your weight is in the middle of your body. Change body positions often to relieve any pain or discomfort that you get from being in one standing position too long, such as taking a walking break or sitting down. And it's a good idea to always check in with your body posture often so that you don't have any pain or discomfort. Next, we're going to talk about body posture when you are standing and you are trying to pick something up off the ground. There are several ways you can do this depending on what you're comfortable with and how flexible you are. If you are standing and you feel okay with squatting, make sure that you're bending from your hips and your knees instead of your waist so that your back is always straight and it's not rounded. If squatting is not possible for you, it's a good idea to sit in a chair with your hips all the way back in the chair, with your back against the back of the chair. This way, when you lean forward from the hips, your back is straight and you'll be able to reach the item on the ground more easily. Also, other environmental ideas to have, it's a good idea to have your house set up so that items that you use frequently or items that are heavy are at a level that you can reach them while you're standing without having to bend over to pick them up. Okay. When you're grabbing an object off the ground, it's a good idea to focus on setting up several bases of support so that if your weight shifts one way or another, you're protected. So examples of this are having 2 feet stable on the ground when you're standing to squat, and also 2 feet stable on the ground when you're sitting in a chair, and a hand on a table or something at your level, at your arm level, to lean on when you are reaching down to the ground. Place your body as close to the object as you can, whether you're sitting or standing, before you reach for it. This is because if the object is far away and you attempt to reach for it, you might bring your weight forward, and this could be a good chance for you to fall, and you won't have a way to protect yourself or catch yourself before you do fall. These are some examples of good and poor posture when people are reaching for objects below them. The first picture of the lady gardening is a good example of how she has her hips placed at the back of the chair so that her weight isn't at the front of the chair. She won't tip the chair while she's reaching down to garden. The second picture of the man making the bed is a good example of his partial squat. He's bending at the knees and the hips, and he has his weight pushed backwards, so when he reaches down to fix the bed, he won't risk falling forward. And the last picture is a good example of poor posture. This lady is bending at the knees and the hips, but also has her back rounded a lot, and she's bending pretty far down. So if she were to lose her balance and start tilting forward, she doesn't have as good of a chance of catching herself because of her weight being all the way forward already. Next, we're going to talk about good body posture when you're sitting. First, it's a good idea to focus on placing your hips far back in the chair so that your weight is towards the back. If you place them towards the front, if you sit on the edge of the chair, you have a better chance of tilting the chair and you'll lose your balance and could fall. Again, as with standing, roll your shoulders back as much as possible, as much as comfortable as for you. To also focus on pulling your chin and your head back. As soon as you start letting your head go forward, this will cause your shoulders to roll, and then your weight is already starting to go forward. Make sure that the chair is at a proper height for your body, which means that your feet should be comfortably placed on the ground. This provides stability when you're standing up, and also gives you more bases of support besides just the chair. So if you were to fall or feel that you're losing your balance while sitting, you have your feet to ground you. These are some good examples of good body mechanics. The far two are examples of good posture. Their hips are far back in the chair, and they're sitting up straight. Their arms are resting comfortably in their lap. Their feet are stable on the ground or on footrests. And this picture closest to me is an example of poor body posture. This lady is slumped really far down into the chair, her hips are sliding towards the front of the chair, and she's at greater risk for sliding and not having good enough upper body strength to pull herself back up before she falls. Next, we're going to talk about proper body posture while sleeping. It's a good idea to lay on your back or your side to maintain a neutral spine throughout the night. Choose a firm and comfortable mattress to avoid your back sinking in different spots, which would knock your spine out of alignment. Place a pillow between your knees if you're on your side, or under your knees if you're on your back, to keep your knees in line with your hips, which will be in line with your back. And then also make sure that the pillow you're using keeps your head neutral with your back, instead of too fluffy of a pillow lifting your head forward with your spine. And here are some examples in pictures. This man is laying in the center of his mattress on his back. It's also a good idea to make sure that you're in the center of the bed as opposed to one side or the other, to avoid rolling in the middle of the night and being unaware of it and falling out of bed that way. And here are some examples of proper pillows for keeping your spine in alignment while you're sleeping on your side and on your back. Okay, next we're going to talk about exercise in relation to fall prevention. Exercising on a regular basis builds muscle strength and endurance and balance, all of which are important components of keeping you from falling. And if you were to start falling, you have a better chance of catching yourself and also recovering quickly. Another good idea is maintaining a well-balanced diet. We talked about osteoporosis earlier as a risk factor for falls, and making sure that you have enough calcium and vitamin D in your diet will decrease your risk of having osteoporosis. Have your doctor tell you about any medications that you're currently on that may increase dizziness or drowsiness, or which will increase your risk of falling. And finally, we also talked about how vision can be an issue causing falls. So make sure that you have your eyes checked regularly so that you are aware of any issues and can correct them quickly. So we're going to talk about a few different types of exercise that would be a good idea for you to do consistently so that you build your body up to be stronger, to prevent any falls from happening, and also to, if you were to fall, you're able to catch yourself better and have a less chance of being injured. So first type of exercise is endurance. This includes any activity that raises your heart rate. So it can be moderate or vigorous activity, walking, swimming, running, being on a stationary bike or a moving bike, gardening, anything that your heart rate goes up from what it is when you're just sitting. Next, strength is another important component for fall prevention, because having stronger muscles means that you will be able to maintain the body posture that we talked about earlier, so you will have less chance of losing your balance and falling. You can use your own body weight, like dumbbells or lightweight objects around your house, such as filled water bottles or soup cans, that will provide some resistance to help build the muscle, and also strength training forces your bones to thicken so that they are stronger and more able to handle more force if you were to fall. Another important component is flexibility. Stretching increases how far your joints can move. If you have limitations, you're able to, over time and with consistent practice, you can stretch so that the muscles will allow the arm to move out farther, or your leg to go out farther. So this is a good idea because you will be less likely to be hesitant and tight when you're moving, so you will be less likely to fall. And the last important exercise for preventing falls is increasing your balance abilities. Having good balance is important for preventing falls because you will better understand where your body is in space, and you'll be able to catch yourself if you're leaning one way or another to avoid a fall, or to protect yourself while falling. And now we are going to talk, now that we've learned a little bit about these exercises, we're going to just do a few examples of the strength, flexibility, and balance types of exercise, just so you all have an idea what they are and how you can do them at home on your own. Okay, we're going to try strength exercises first, so let's get some music going just to pump us up. It's always fun to work out to music. So I'll demonstrate the exercise and then you can do it to the music. So the first exercise is an arm curl. You'll have both arms down by your side and you will lift, bend your elbow, and your hands will touch both your shoulders. And you repeat. Very good. Looking good. This is a nice exercise. You can go faster or slower. Okay, looks good. We can try the next exercise is leg strength. Straightening. For strength in your quads, and quads are an important part of your leg to strengthen because they are the most important part for standing and maintaining the standing. So this will help you prevent a fall because you will have the strength to keep your legs up and straight, keep your body up. So to demonstrate this, you'll do this in sitting. So you will start with your knee bent and then straighten out as much as you can so that your foot is in front of you, and then bring your foot back down. Okay, just make sure that your thigh stays touching your chair. There you go. That's good. Okay. Looking good, guys. You can try, let's move on to the flexibility exercises. These are just to stretch out the muscles so that you have a better range of motion, that you can move all of your body parts. For the next stretch, you will look to your right as far as you can towards your right shoulder, and then turn over your left shoulder. Make sure that you do it slow. You don't want to, all stretches should be slow and smooth. You don't want to pull or jerk or bounce on them because that will injure the muscle. And flexibility is good for keeping your range of motion open so that if you fall, you're not stiff and hesitate about it. Okay. Let's move on to the next flexibility exercise is the upper body stretch. So for this one, it's about your chest and your arms. Again, you can do this sitting or standing. You're going to open your arms wide into like a T position and kind of pull back. Kind of pull your arms as far back behind your shoulders as you can, and then bring them back in front of your face. And then back out. There you go. And make sure that you're far away from other people so that you don't hit them. You don't want that to be interfering with your exercise. And this is good for opening your chest. It's a good thing to have these muscles open because if you were to fall, you need to be able to have your arms cover a wide range of motion so you can protect yourself during the fall. And last, we're going to talk about balance and try some balance exercises. For these, both of these examples, you'll need to be standing. So if everyone wants to stand up. And the first exercise, go behind your chair. And this exercise is to stand on one foot. So both hands on the back of the chair, lift one foot up just a few inches off the ground. And they recommend starting with trying to build up to 10 seconds. And then bring it down, take a rest, switch to the other foot. And like we talked about, balance is great for, maintaining balance is great for preventing falls because if you're used to trying to balance yourself, you will have a better awareness of your body is. And then the next balance exercise we're going to try, if you just want to spread out a little bit, you're just going to be walking a few steps. The balance exercise is walking. Put your heel in front of your toe so that they're touching. And if it helps, you can put your arms out into that T we did before with the flexibility. And just take a few steps forward. They recommend working up to 20 steps. So as far as you really can go, it can be a challenge thing for you. Challenge you're building up. Just make sure that your heel is as close to your toe as possible. It is also a good idea to leave out something that if you need to stabilize yourself. Okay, looking good. Okay, now Kendra is going to talk to you about modifying your home environment to prevent falls.
Alright, so there's many tips and tricks that you guys can all use in your own homes to help them make your house a little more safe and to prevent those falls from happening. We're going to look at 5 different areas. We'll look at the bedroom, the kitchen, stairs, living room, and a bathroom and see what we can do in those spaces. So for bedroom modification, what you want to do is have some kind of a light or a lamp next to your bed. That way you can turn that on. You're going to be able to see what's around you then. Also, if you have a bed that's easy for you to get in and out of, it's not too high, not too low. That way when you're getting in and out of bed, it's an easy transition for you and you're not worried about being unsteady. Also, you want to use sheets and bedclothes that are made of a non-slippery material. If you have satiny sheets and you start to fall out of bed, that's just going to take away any friction that might have been there and you're just going to continue to fall. We also want to make sure that you have a nightlight that's guiding you from your bedroom to your bathroom. A lot of people have to wake up during the middle of the night and it's dark obviously, so you need some light to make sure you don't trip over anything on your way. Another trick is to keep your closet organized. That way you're not reaching over and bending over and to the back of your closet and falling over anything. And to keep clutter off the floor all around you. Don't have boxes or shoes or anything sitting out that you can trip over. The next space we'll talk about is the kitchen. So in the kitchen, you want to make sure that you're cleaning up any spills right away. If you spill water, obviously you're likely to slip and fall down on that. So just after that happens, make sure you clean it up. Store items that you're going to use often in easily accessible places. Also, you don't want to use chairs to stand on and reach on things. So if you have things up in higher cabinets and you're standing on a chair, obviously your balance is going to be messed up a little bit there and you have a bigger chance of falling. And lastly, you want to remove any rugs. That is going to be a difference of surface that you're likely to trip over and fall. Next, we're going to look at a lot of ways that you can modify your stairs. One thing is to make sure that you're keeping them free of clutter. A lot of people like to put boxes or clothing or anything on the stairs. Make sure you keep that off so you're not tripping over it. Also, taking away any rugs from the top or bottom of stairs, same as in the kitchen. It's just that difference of surface that you might trip over. And repairing any loose boards or carpeting that might, snag your foot on and you fall down those. Another thing is to have adequate lighting at the top and bottom of your stairs. Just so you can see where you're going, you can see where the stairs clearly start and stop so you don't stumble over one that you didn't see was there. Installing handrails on both sides is also beneficial. That's just going to help you keep a proper balance and grip and you'll feel steadier as you're walking up the stairs. And if you have stairs that aren't carpeted and are a little more slippery, if you want to get some non-slip treads, that's beneficial. And then that just decreases your risk of falls. Also, consider replacing dark or patterned carpet with lighter solid carpet that it's easier to see where those stairs are at so you're not tripping over any of them. For your living room, there's also many modifications that you can make. They all kind of flow from everything else we've been talking about, but to make sure that it's well lit and that the light switches are close by so that when you're walking into a room, you don't have to walk into a dark room to find the light switch. Also, you want to make sure you're arranging your furniture so that there's wide, clear pathways for you to walk through. Another thing is to keep low-rise items such as newspaper racks and coffee tables away from walkways. Sometimes you don't see them and you can trip over them, and that's a way that people fall. Also, removing clutter from the area again. It's just another thing that you can trip over. You want to have furniture that's easy to sit up and stand up from. Just like your bed, you don't want it to be too high or too low, that it's easy for you to get on and off of it. And don't run extension cords across the floor and keep the cords away from walkways. It's another trip hazard there. And then lastly, we're going to talk about our bathroom modifications. You want to keep a night light in your bathroom, just like you wanted a light to get to your bathroom. You want to be able to see there if you're going there in the nighttime especially. A good trick is to install grab bars on the walls next to toilets and showers as well. Getting up and off the toilet sometimes is a little difficult. If you have that, that's just something else to help keep your balance to grab onto. Another thing is to keep a slip-resistant strips inside the bathtub or shower with the water on the slick floor. That makes it easy to fall on. If you have those slip-resistant strips, you're less likely to slip on the bottom. Another thing is the slip-resistant rugs in front of the bathtub. So when you're getting in and out, it gets wet too, especially if you have slick flooring. You want to have something that you're going to stand on that you're going to feel safe standing on. Replacing glass shower doors is also a good idea. If you do fall out of the shower, that is going to help that you don't sustain more injuries from that glass shower door breaking. You also want to think about maybe installing a high-rise toilet, just another thing that's easier to get on and off of, and using a sturdy shower seat if you are unsteady in the tub. Sitting down sometimes is easier than standing up and trying to, reach your toes and reach to difficult places on your body. So here we're just going to have some examples. We want you to go through and tell us what about this room we could change to make it more safe and accessible. So what can we fix about this room here? Yeah.
It's very cluttered. Someone could trip over that trash can.
Yeah, that's a great point. It's pretty much sitting out there in the middle of the room, especially where they're going to turn that corner. Is there anything else? Yes.
Those rugs look really dangerous.
Yep, they definitely do. There's 3 of them out there, and that change in floor surface is something that you could trip over as well. You guys notice anything else? Also, one other thing that I noticed was it's not very well lit. There's not much lighting in there, and especially at nighttime with no natural light, that might be hard to navigate around, especially since it's cluttered and they have that trash can sitting out. They also have things above the refrigerator that wouldn't be easy to reach, and just clutter all around that would make for a fall. All right, nice job with that one, guys. Now we're going to take a look at a good home environment and what they did to make sure that everything was safe for them to prevent falls. You can see that it's very well lit. They're going to be able to see their way around it. And also all the furniture is arranged so that there's clear pathways you can walk through easily. That coffee table behind the couch is higher up, so it's not going to be a trip hazard there either. And there's no clutter sitting around, so this is a much better arranged, safer environment to prevent falls. All right, now I'd like to introduce Erin. She's going to talk to you about the different resources that are available for you in your community to help prevent falls.
Thank you. So now that you've learned all about what puts you at risk for a fall, proper body mechanics, and exercises that can help with your balance and stability, I'd like to talk to you a little bit about the community resources that are there for you to help you implement all of these things that we've talked about. We can start with your doctor or nurse. So next time that you're in your doctor's office, you can talk to them about any medications that might put you at risk for a fall. They might make you dizzy, they might affect your vision, and these things, again, as we talked about, can put you at risk. Additionally, if you're currently seeing a physical or occupational therapist, they're good people to talk to you about that safe transition to your home and link you to programs that are in your community. Also, the caregivers, the family and friends that are here with you today, they're a good resource. They can help you address any of those risks that are in your home that Kendra talked about earlier. Furthermore, the resources that are out there in your community, such as your local hospital and fitness centers. I know that Rush University, for example, has programs like yoga, gentle chair exercises, and Tai Chi. Those are all great things to improve your balance and stability. Fitness centers also offer these types of programs, so just looking into those, they can often be free or low cost to you. Senior centers also offer a lot of these fitness programs to just keep you moving, keep you strong. Additionally, if you do need to make any of those modifications in your home to keep you safe, there are resources out there for you, such as the Housing Development Authority. That is available to anybody that is in the state of Illinois. You can look on their website or give them a call, and they can direct you to subsidies that will help you pay for any modifications like grab bars in your shower or ramps going into your home, anything like that that you need help with. If you live in the city of Chicago specifically, programs like Home Mod and SARFs are good for you. Depending on your age range, you can reach out to either of these programs, and they'll do the same thing. They'll make home modifications up to about $10,000 within the home to help you be safer there. Programming such as Stepping On or A Matter of Balance are 8-week programs that really work towards preventing falls in the home. So I know that you've heard a lot about what you can do to prevent falls here today, but that's an even longer program that will keep you safe and give you even more information. The National Council on Aging, you can contact them to find out where your local Council on Aging is. They've got a lot of great programs that can keep you safe in your home as well. And then finally, I just wanted to touch on the medical alert system. So if you do happen to have a fall in your home, you want to keep yourself safe, and you want to make sure that somebody is coming to check on you and that you have that medical care quickly. So looking into a medical alert system that you can implement in your home will do that for you to keep you safe. So that's pretty much all that I have to talk about. Just kind of wrapping up in conclusion. Fall prevention is an important component of safety for older adults, as well as those who might be disabled, you might have had surgery. All of these things bring you at an increased risk for falls. Individuals who are at risk should work on modifying their environment and utilizing the resources available. We're going to hand out this brochure at the end of our program. In here is a little bit of a checklist that you can go through in your home. All the things that Kendra talked about, you can bring this home, walk through your home with your family and your caregiver, check off to make sure that your house is as safe as possible for you to be in. And remember, don't take the plunge. We don't want you to fall. We want you to stay safe. And thank you for coming today.
Yeah.